session and the publication of the recording of the board's website and social media account. Per the Open Meetings Act, the board discloses adjourned its virtual open meeting on April 9th, 2025 to enter administrative session at approximately 2:49 p.m. All board members were present and the members discussed administrative matters, including complaints. Likewise, the board may need to close some or all of this meeting today to preserve the confidentiality mandated by the Ethics Code or is otherwise authorized by the State Open Meetings Act. Upon adjournment of the open session, the board may reconvene for an administrative session to discuss non-public administrative functions of the board. Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon.
All right, we are going to have Member Newman join us in a few minutes. She's on another commitment, but in the meantime, does anybody have any time constraints this afternoon? Doesn't look like a really big docket or anything like that.
No firm ones for me.
No, none for me either. No, none for me. Thank you. I will say quickly that my greeting was to the ladies as well. Ladies, good to see you both.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Hi,
good to meet you.
Good.
So, and just take note that the Orioles are in the middle of a doubleheader right now, so we don't need to, be here till 6 o'clock. All right, they're still playing. Thank goodness. All right, so that said, we'll go ahead and move to the written minutes for the last meeting, April 9th, for the public session. And I got to say, they were good.
I agree.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Any additions or corrections?
None here.
Then I'll move for, all right. Then I'll move for the adoption of the April 9th public written minutes.
I second.
Can I get right? There's a motion and second to approve the public written minutes of April 9th, 2025. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. And that is unanimous. So we'll go ahead and move on to our staff. Thank you.
Yes. In regard to the never-ending entry statement and general reminder of the annual financial disclosure obligation, I have been working with HR and their Workday team to implement both the new to file or new employee notification, and they have also added a little checkbox to the individual employees' personnel file that in the coming months will be worked up by the individual departments and agencies, HR professionals, who will go through the list of employees that have been identified as having to file annual disclosures, and they will check that checkbox, and thus will make it easy for us to run a report rather than waiting for 20 different HR offices to provide the lists of the employees. It also will enable us to implement an automatic renewal cycle. And not renewal cycle, that's my previous job, many years ago. Reminder cycle when financial disclosures are due. On Monday, I will have a conference call with almost all HR representatives of the city to inform them about that change, and just to reinforce the importance that new employees in particular are to be reminded that they, if they qualify for financial disclosures, also have to file an entry statement and a conflict of interest affidavit wherever appropriate. That brings me to our disclosure round for this year. Total, we had 3,340 city employees identified as being required to file. Based on the numbers I received yesterday, 3,212 have filed of yesterday. That leaves a remainder of 128. And Nashon and Anitra, thank you very much for all the work you poured into this, and correct me when if I'm wrong with the numbers. I've seen a couple of additional disclosures coming in, but we're over 96% at this point. Currently, we're reviewing the remainders for, if the, who among the remainders can be taken off the grid, so to say, because they have left city employment and are no longer in our jurisdiction. But we hope to have, meet or hopefully exceed all our filing records that we have set over the last couple of years. In addition, there's Noel. In addition, I don't know if you followed it in the local media, but the Appellate Court of Maryland had heard the local media's appeal to the Circuit Court's ruling that in the case of the Mosby legal fund, the Ethics Board or our counsel at the law department had redacted the names of the donors. This was upheld by the Circuit Court. The applicants for those under the MPIA appealed to the Appellate Court of Maryland, and last week we got a reported opinion that was siding with the decision of the Circuit Court, and thus reinforced that the determination that was made by the law department, by the Circuit Court, was correct, that the data that was requested were financial records that are protected from disclosure under the MPIA. So we do have a reported opinion on that. So that was my list that I had. I think we can go for the numbers.
Who's got the numbers?
You want to do it, Anitra, or you want me to do it?
All right.
I'll read them all.
Okay.
So for this month's help desk, so far for the full year of 2025, we have 936 help desks received. For the month of April, 423 help desks was received and resolved by the board. 3 help desk requests were lobbyists, 4 help desk requests were concerning gift solicitation waivers, and 412 help desk requests were concerning financial disclosure statements, and 1 was a ethics inquiry. File ethics training, 16 people completed the ethics training in April, bringing our total to 325. We do not have any complaints open at this time. We do have 9 dismissed. For our full year 2025, we do have 9 complaints all. For our secondary waiver employments, we don't have any pending, but for the full year of 2025, we have 1 granted waiver. For our gift solicitation waivers, none expired since the last board meeting. We do have 7 active waivers and 5 expired waivers. And Chris gave an awesome update on our financial disclosures. Me and Nashon have been working, but we are close to 95% of our goal. We are sending out another round of reminders tomorrow, as well as reminders went out on the
May 5th.
The May 5th. Reminders went out on May 5th.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions, members? Welcome, Noel.
Hi. Sorry, I have my camera off.
Okay.
I'm driving to my office now.
Been pretty routine. Prove the minutes.
Right. Yeah.
That's yeah.
But before you do that, I do have a question.
Sure.
Nashon and Anitra, did you see that I did submit my
Yes.
ethics?
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right, thank
We
you.
got
I
you.
know I was late. I appreciate it.
All of
You wanna give us
ethics
a-
has filed.
Okay,
All right,
good.
you got mine, right? Okay, you got mine. Arnold, you're in. John, you're in.
I believe I'm in.
Yes, you are.
No dumb questions here.
Thank you. Ultra vigilance now.
We appreciate you, and thank you to our director and our staff, because it's like tax season at an accounting firm. So we appreciate your diligence on all of this. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to old business if there's no further discussion for the staff update. All right. And Chris, I didn't see anything in my folder.
New business came in late yesterday, and we got a supplement this morning with the second outstanding signature. It is a gift solicitation waiver petition by the Baltimore Police Department in view of raising funds for the Western District's new gym. And they are having a fundraising dinner in conjunction with a award dinner for individual officers. And Signal 13 is the organization that is assisting in raising those funds for the Western District's gym. And so just to cover not only BPD, but also their agent, Signal 13, in this matter, because they're raising funds on behalf of BPD. We believe that a proper gift solicitation waiver petition was appropriate, and we can call up Mr. Smolian for it. He is in reserve in case the board needs additional information. Overall, the same information that was put before the board on previous occasions is still valid and intact.
All right, Chris, quickly, I think I mentioned old business, but we don't have any, right?
We don't have it. No, I'm sorry. No.
Okay. And with respect to the Signal 13 Foundation banquet, this is going to be a $5,000 to $50,000 solicitation, and it'll be all funds will be in a dedicated account.
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have. Yes, Arnold.
I'm unclear about the relationship, if you will, between the Signal 13 Foundation and the Baltimore City Police Department. It seems like they're the entity who are diligently attempting to raise funds for the meritorious awards ceremony, recognition ceremony, and but they're not a function of, they're not a component of the Baltimore City Police Department. How come, or the city, therefore, how come wouldn't their activities be blind to the Board of Ethics?
In principle, yes. However, because this is in particular a BPD sponsored dinner where the appearance could be created that BPD is itself, in the process of raising the funds, that there's a commingling, at least in the visuals, in that regard. BPD wanted to make sure that both, and that in that process, Signal 13 may be considered an agent to the principal BPD, and the waiver would be covering this in also making sure that an agency can't just go out and delegate a third party to raise funds kind of behind that firewall without the board's knowledge and without the board's approval.
Okay.
It is as the lawyers like to say, in an abundance of caution.
Okay, I like to say that, of course. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to seek guidance from any of you who want to give me some guidance to so quickly muzzle me if I'm going down the wrong track here. I'm a concern that I have is that that this event sounds like it's a great idea to recognize officers who have done something above and beyond in their line of work. And I think it's a wonderful idea. I think they deserve the recognition. Concern that I have is that donors to this ceremony, this event, as you just said so well, Chris, is that they might be, they might feel like their donation to the police department might gain them some slight favor. And I just makes me kind of, I want the police department to get the recognition. I want the officers to get recognized and to be celebrated for doing more than they were expected to do, being meritorious. But I'm also concerned that the citizens who give money might feel they're entitled to some preferential treatment or favoritism or something. And I'm just wondering about how just raising that for anyone to comment on if my queasiness about that is warranted. I just am concerned that Baltimore will not be looked upon as a place that can be where influence can be bought. So, thank you. I'm trying.
Thank you. This is something that we discuss almost every month with every gift solicitation, and I don't see anything to differentiate this request from any of the others. And you saw the meeting minutes for April 9th, and it says, well, I want to make sure these are the public meeting minutes. You understand that almost every one of our gift solicitation waivers says conditioned on that donors will be told that they won't be getting any adverse treatment if they don't donate. So, I mean, I think that condition I think that's become a standard condition of this board, to be honest.
True.
You and have spoken about that on almost every gift solicitation waiver request. So I agree that it should, we should continue our policy and always condition it on that proviso. And let me find the minutes. Let's see, get them out. We'll,
Well, and in this particular, as in most other waiver applications, the PPD is committing to, in writing, to inform donors that they cannot expect preferential treatment, and also the more recent addition that those who decide not to give will also not experience any detriment or negative effect of that decision not to give.
right.
So at least we have the affirmation, the written affirmation by the fundraiser and by the agency.
Yeah. We're gonna say something.
I'm sorry. I was going
sorry,
to say, I also think there's a little bit of just a concern that this will result in someone having a little sticker in their car window saying proud supporter of Signal 13's meritorious service awards, or I support the police and Signal 13, something like that. I don't know that there's anything we can do about that. I mean, people give to the Fraternal Order of Police and put those little stickers on their cars. And I don't think there's anything we can do about that either. So while I share Arnold's concern about that appearance, I'm not sure that it's in the real world that's something we can really do anything about other than what we've been doing, which is insisting that these these gifts are not in exchange or quid pro quo for some favorable treatment. And I don't know that the ethics board has authority to do more than that. And nor do I think that the ethics board should stand in the way of good faith gifts and programs like this one, because of this concern that we can't otherwise address.
I think that's well said, John. I mean, and I certainly agree with a good part of what you said. I hear I want this. I don't know, trying to figure out how to deftly articulate this, but I have a bumper sticker, a couple of bumper stickers that I on my car, and one of them says Vietnam Helicopter Pilots Association, so that someone approaching my car will know that once in my life I did something maybe that was, the right thing, even if I'm doing the wrong thing now, going through a 35 mile per hour speed area with and doing 55 miles per hour. And I have my license tag is a CR plate. I don't know if you all know what that means. CR, little numbers, little letter CR means combat related. I won't, because it'll come like I'm bragging. I won't tell you what they are for, what it says, but it's a medal. And I am hoping that this just gives me just one little bit more something, so that someone officer might say, well, let's not be too hard. And I want that. I'm human, and I would expect other people to do the exact same thing. Here's the dilemma that I'm struggling with is, but we're the ones who are the thin blue line between the public and the city officials, and we are hoping not to do anything. We're hoping that we will be vigilant about any actions that might signal preferential treatment. And you're probably right. Foolish me. Maybe I'm being really quixotic about this, and if so, I'll shut the heck up. But I'm just raising it very gently to see if anyone else feels a certain way, or if there's another thing to do to sort of make sure that we have fulfilled our role of keeping favoritism one step back. With that, I'm trying to shut up.
All right. I mean, I'll just say again, we had 3 gift solicitation waivers last month. The obverse of your preposition is what we agreed on: an amendment to Section 6 of the applications, advisement of no detriment for non-contribution. Those
Yep.
were all 4-0 votes. So I feel like this should be treated the same way.
And I agree with you on that, Steve. I just don't think that we have the authority or the reach to start, policing what goes on people's bumpers or windshields or anything else. Not that there is going to be anything. This is just hypothetical, but or even a person telling someone who stops them, I just donated to your Signal 13. I mean, that's just not within our purview. And so I don't think there's really anything that we are authorized or empowered to do about it. And I'm not sure that's a bad thing, but that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
agree. Our action is limited, and we're really not supposed to micromanage marketing for an organization or things like that. If there's evidence that people aren't getting pulled over because they have stickers on their car or something else to that effect, I would be more concerned. but I appreciate the discussion here.
May I inquire, when you were describing the gift solicitation waiver, Chris, I was not following, because it sounded like you were somehow connecting this one that we got this week that you sent out shortly after Nashan's email went out, with the Western Maryland Gymnasium. And I didn't see anything in what you sent me that connected it to the fundraising for that, or I thought it was a standalone fundraising for a ceremony. And my only concern about it was the request that it would be evergreen and they could do whatever they want year after year after year without coming back to the board, because they want to do this on a regular basis. That troubled me a little bit.
Yeah.
But I didn't see any connection to the gymnasium issue.
Yeah, that was how it was positioned when I talked to BPD, who had contacted me about this issue last Friday, and I spent some time with Mr. Smalian on the phone, and this is it was presented within the context of the Western District gym construction.
And that makes sense if that's for you to have explained it to us that way. Now it makes sense to me, but that's certainly not what's in that paper, or at least I didn't see it that way.
Yeah, and as in regard to the evergreen, I believe that this is some easy solution for the board to grant it on a year-over-year basis with a new application without providing a carte blanche, for any other future years that they may or may not intend to have that event. So that could be a condition.
That sounds fine to me, but I would like to be clear in at least from my perspective, that if we're voting on this gift waiver that was presented, that we're voting only on the question of fundraising for this meritorious award ceremony that they want to put on, and not for anything related to the gymnasium, which is a totally separate issue in my mind, not part of the documentation that they shared. And I don't think we should be burdened with the idea that there's something in there that we haven't explored or discussed or understood very well before voting on it. I want to vote on what we have in front of us on the paper, not something else.
Okay, that makes sense. And the options are to vote on the waiver petition as it is before the board right now, or to vote on it conditioned on a clarification on where exactly the funds are going to be expended that are being raised at that dinner.
Well, yeah, and certainly not, I wouldn't go along with anything that would be a perpetual
Yes.
waiver.
Yeah, I agree with that. So are you suggesting that funds raised for the event that are going to remain in the dedicated account until the award ceremony where they would be applied? Are you suggesting that some of those awards would be toward financing the gym?
I think that was implied in my conversation with Mr. Smalian.
I mean, on its four corners, I have zero problem with this gift solicitation waiver application.
Right, that's my problem, is that on its four corners, it seems very simple and straightforward, and I'd be prepared to say aye, subject to the time limitation issue that we've already discussed. But now the waters are muddied for me a little bit, because apparently somebody thinks it's for something else than what they put in there, and that there will be significant funds that could be collected and expended on something that we haven't been asked to approve.
Well, if we approve this, then they can release awards at their discretion. So I don't know.
And
If
I thought it
you're
was to pay for the ceremony. Is it to pay for awards?
I mean, it says in section 4, any additional funds not used for the event would remain in the dedicated account until awards ceremony where they would be applied.
Right, and that strikes me. I'm with you, Steve. I think this is about funds for award ceremonies. They need a banquet hall. They need somebody to cater it. They need somebody to print out the medals or commemorations or plaques that they want to give out. But it's not cash awards to police officers. It's paying for a meritorious award ceremony. And how that
Right.
how that would reach the gymnasium is beyond me, but that I'm in favor of, and that's what's on this paper.
Right. And yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to wildly speculate, but I mean, awards can be plaques. Awards can be 4 nights in the Bahamas. I do not want to turn this into a big mess. I'm reading what's on the paper. It's a 5 to 50,000. It's on the smaller side of what we look at. I feel like we'll go down a rabbit hole if we think of all the things they can apply awards funds to.
Well, I would vote that my simple-minded solution is to vote on the request as it's been presented. And my vote would be yes, subject to the understanding that this is a one-time waiver that must be renewed anytime they want to do additional fundraising.
And then I would add to that that this is approved condition on their statement in paragraph 5, saying that there will be that a donation will not implicate a preferential treatment, as well as a lack of donation will not implicate any negative treatment by BPD.
Well,
So-
subject to that, as clarified by Chairman Fogelman and my comment about the non-evergreen nature of this, I would move to approve the application as written.
I would second that.
Second, okay.
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve, subject to the board's, or we have a motion to approve the gift solicitation waiver, subject to the affirmations made in paragraph 5 of the application. And the motion is also to deny the request that this be a self restarting or evergreen fund request as far as the ethics board is concerned.
I second the motion.
All right. Yeah, just want to thank you. Make sure it's still clear. All right. All in favor of said motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. All right. That was good discussion. You'll let them know, Chris, that we'll need
I
to
will.
come back and see us. And we might want to know about, where the funds were applied, where the award fund applied in the future. All right. Do we have any other old business, Chris? I mean, new business?
There's no new business for the public session this month.
All right. It's 3:08. If there's no objection, we'll go ahead and adjourn the public session at this time. Thank you all. Thank you, staff. Thank you, Mr. Director.